Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios here in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock mentor, Brian Johnson, and I'm making professional trading simple. And I'd first like to say, because I forgot to do it in yesterday's video, that my Packers beat the Bears the other night. Sorry to all you Bears lovers out there, but I was especially happy about this one because me and one of my students had a little side bet going on it. And for my win, Pete gets to send me Italian beef from Chicago. He also said he'd send me some deep dish pizza. I'm not exactly sure how he's going to get deep dish pizza from Chicago here, but maybe the Italian beef might come. So anyway, Pete, I got you on this one. Bragging rights go to me until the next time we meet. The V the I think the MVP of the game for the Packers has to go to Jay Cutler. He's the quarterback for Chicago, and he did not have a good night. And he was one of the main reasons we won the game. Actually, we did not look good on offense. Defense looked pretty tough, and they were all the difference for us this last game. Cutler's 4 interceptions, especially the one at the very end of the game that sealed the deal for us, was not a good showing. So hopefully, with the big trade they had, they should have got the better deal. Kyle Orton is absolutely useless. He was a joke for Denver. But Cutler, you would expect a little bit more of, and it is the first week. So I'm glad we got him early, actually, to be honest with you, because I'm not so sure how the next meeting's going to turn out. But yay for me. I get Italian beef from Chicago, from my boy Pete. Thank you, Pete. I'd also like to welcome to the show Ivan. I know one of my students, Anna, was talking to a friend of hers named Ivan, and he was taking some classes down in Florida, and I don't think that they have helped him a great, immense amount. And so I'm happy to have him aboard. Ivan, I hope you're listening tonight. I know that maybe you've been having some troubles with your trading lately, and I can help. Yes, I can. Talk to Anna. She's very happy. She had some successful trades today, or at least one that I know of. I'm very proud of her. It's her first day after our mentoring sessions, and she's already showing progress and already making profits. So I can do the same for you. You've had a lot of the same background training as her, and if the two of you train, or if you come to me and train with me, you two could I'll start working together, and it would be perfect. You guys would be great trading buddies. I think you both could help one another out a lot. For those of you that don't have a trading buddy, find one. Trading buddies are awesome. They will see things that you don't see. They will find trades that you don't find, and vice versa. You help them find things. You can bounce things off of them. When you have a bad day, you have someone's shoulder to cry on. It's a great idea because sometimes trading can be a very, very, very lonely profession, especially from the emotional side. It's very difficult sometimes to trade from an emotional side because you're just wrapped up in the emotions of all that's going on. And if you're caught in a bad trade, you just want somebody to talk to sometimes. Uh, Otherwise, you want to either A, throw yourself off a tall building, or B, kill puppies. So we've all been there before. When I started trading, I got into some very, very bad trades and lost thousands of dollars on single trades because I was just undisciplined and I didn't know what I was doing. So find yourself a buddy that'll help keep you sane, and maybe you won't go postal on on your neighbors. All right, back to the markets. We had a little. It's kind of a sideways day. We moved up at the beginning and then moved sideways the rest of the day. We did hit the area I called for, 1044 to 1050 area. That was a line. Now I had people calling me going 1050. We're hitting 1050. Are we going down? Well, no, it was just one of my many levels to look for on the way up. I said a break of 1050 would probably take us to 1055, 1054 area, and then on to 1065. And we went about a point over that today. 1056 was the high. So my resistance area was broken by about a point. But we quickly retreated from this area, so I don't think anybody was hanging out at this area. And then came back for the rest of the day. Closed at the 1052 area, but our low was 1043 and our high was 1056. So not much to really speak about today. 1043 to 1056, a 13-point move. What? There really isn't much to talk about. On a daily candle, though, you can see that we are just still pushing. I really should just save it this way and just show it to you this way from now on because it's been so tight. You can see this move up. We pushed above the 1050 support line I had there, or resistance line, and right into more trend line resistance. So we have not been able to break this trend line. What's my gut? If we break this trend line, that can be very bullish. I would be tempted to think of maybe a fake out breakout to the upside. So if it does break above this trend line, I'd be very cautious. So I'm still, I have to be because we are still in an uptrend, neutral to slightly bullish, but I'm very cautious, bullish. Watch tomorrow. Wednesday afternoons are a very common time for reversals in the market. Not saying that we will have a huge reversal tomorrow, but it could happen. Wednesday afternoons are notorious for that. Let's watch this very closely. We're now watching this upper trend line. That is certainly one to keep on your radars as we push forward. It is having a time struggling with this upper channel line. We had good volume today on 13 points. So, are we seeing tons of buying or are we seeing distribution by the institutions? That is the major question. I would defer to the latter as opposed to the former. I would wonder if maybe we're seeing some distribution today as institutions are taking profits and trying to hand off their shares to what we call dumb money coming into the markets late, which is unfortunate because that usually is grandma and grandpa who has a 401k plan that they're looking to get back into the markets with. Anyway, if we see distribution up here, that is usually bearish overall in the long term for the markets. We will be watching this close. This 1053 area was and still is and was today the 50% fib retracement level from the big move. 50% fib lines are very common places of reversals. So we will be watching that pushing forward. I think that works well with the Wednesday afternoon reversal. Of course, it could happen tomorrow. NDX on a 60-minute. Look at this channel we've been in. Very similar to what we're seeing on the SPX. What's the difference? Great question. Came right up here to 1700. Look how the 1700 level held. And look how we've not been able to make this top channel line again. In a bullish environment, you want to see this thing hit up here, come back down, test support, and jump back up and hit resistance. Come back down, hold support, jump back up, hit resistance. We're not seeing that. It's just floating along barely on the bottom of this area here. So be very cautious of this. If you're bullish the techs and bullish the Qs, you want to see this thing get back up here and touch the top of this. Otherwise, a break of this trend line is a first sign that the uptrend could be in some trouble. And we want to then watch to see if we end up breaking this 20-period moving average. On a weekly, the NDX weekly, you can see at 1699 we are above, just above, the 1693 200 period moving average, but it is a weekly candle and we have not closed the week yet. So we will keep that in mind going forward. SPX we've already looked at. Let's look at the VIX on the day, and you can see that the VIX was down today, so it did confirm the little bit of an up mood we had in the markets today. On a weekly candle, we are still watching it hang out at 2324, which is the 200 period moving average. 2342, it's hanging on by a thread. A break below this could retest this bottom trend line, or this support area down here, which I ultimately think it will if it breaks below this 2250 area on the VIX, and then we could see a retest of this, which would still drive the markets up, and we are in an uptrend. No telling when we're going to turn around. Still cautiously optimistic on the markets. AFY once again showing weakness. Markets goes up, AFI goes down 12 cents. Okay, so now what are we looking at? On a daily, you can see we have now closed below the 20-day moving average. Below that $20 is where I told you you could maybe start to look at a short entry. Sure enough, we got a little bit of one today. Hard to see we've got a lot of little down candles in a row though, so it would be very hard to be holding this one overnight. But if the markets do move down, I would watch AFFY for sure. Any move down in the markets could add to the acceleration of this move to the downside on AFFY. Be watching that one closely.